We had already been pointing out in previous videos that there was a very high probability Bitcoin and the broader crypto ecosystem would continue their bullish trend to reach new all-time highs. Are we seeing this in Bitcoin? Are there critical black swans in Ethereum? What about XRP? And let me tell you, nothing is going to stop this. We're witnessing the beginning of very key breakouts in BNB, not to mention the absolute madness we experienced this past weekend in XLM. In this video, I'm going to explain why the bullish trend in Bitcoin and across the crypto ecosystem is still in full swing, just as we've been forecasting from the lower levels. I'll show you why. Here at Crypto Insight, we remain bullish on crypto. Now, turning to the 4-hour time frame on Bitcoin's chart, let's remember that our last Crypto Insight video was published on July 10th, when the price was at this point. In that video and in our most recent Crypto Insight Premium live stream, we shared just how bullish and optimistic we were for the short term, pinpointing very specific daily trading opportunities. When we looked specifically at Link's chart, it became crystal clear that its price and really the entire crypto ecosystem was most likely set for an immediate bullish continuation without having to endure many more pullbacks. First, we nailed this live on Crypto Insight Premium. The same setup kept repeating. The 330 mark was the opportunity. Let's be honest, it wasn't easy. Honestly, given what we've seen, I wouldn't want to be on the wrong side of this move. Watch out, if it struggles to take off, that could get ugly. Seeing a drop here would be painful. Personally, I believe and hope I'm not wrong that they won't give us a chance to short this, and instead, it's going to surge upward with strength. In other words, it's going to keep going and going. As you just witnessed in our live analysis on June 10th, we were aggressively bullish in the very near term under this hypothesis. It was clear to us that the key to winning in the crypto market was to hunt for any excuse to go long. And that's exactly what we did. All right, let's talk about SUI. They're picking up tremendous momentum right now, almost creating a potential black swan event. That's why, as I mentioned, you should be on the lookout for any excuse to hop in on a long position. Take a look at SUI. It's been absolutely explosive since our last analysis, which we shared both in our YouTube videos and live on Crypto Insight Premium. After that breakdown I just showed you, the crypto markets went absolutely wild. In that live session, we specifically studied how to target longs. If we're expecting a massive, immediate bullish breakout, how do we actually trade it? The strategy we shared with the Crypto Insight Premium community was to wait for the initial impulse, watch for a pullback into an opposing trend line, and then once that trend line is broken, take your long entry. And right here, you can see exactly that. Impulse correction, breakout, then long entry. Look at SUI, insane, right? Like I said from the start, any excuse to get long is going to be a good one. This is what I told you at the very beginning of the session, however long ago that was. 40 minutes ago, I mentioned that any excuse to go long is a good one because I don't know how far they're going to let us pull back. At least we'll get the kind of correction we want to add more positions. Well, everything's been said, everything's been shown, and I've laid out my thoughts. Any excuse to go long is a good excuse, right? In the end, it often comes down to lower time frames after an impulse. Assess the pullbacks, identify the trend line, and once that trend line breaks, dial in the long and repeat. We've done this several times. We're in one of those moments now. And obviously, what you just saw wasn't only applicable to SUI, the message is that we can apply it across the entire crypto ecosystem, including Bitcoin. Just look at how many opportunities have emerged under this premise, especially on smaller timeframes. And here we have that correction in Bitcoin, which required waiting for a breakout before continuing to buy crypto to the upside.
I want to introduce you to our private Telegram channel, which is completely free. In fact, at the time of recording this video, we're also live streaming for the community. During these live sessions, we look for trading opportunities in the futures market. We focus on intraday trades, and within this community, members also share their operational ideas, what they're working on, and what they're looking for in the markets at any given moment. It's honestly very interesting. This community is constantly learning and improving. So if you're an active trader and tired of trading alone, you can join our community. It's very simple. The requirements are as follows. You need to be a user of BitUnix or BuyDFI, have deposited cryptocurrencies into your BitUnix or BuyDFI accounts with a minimum value of $100.00, and use this account as your primary futures trading account. In other words, you need to be actively trading. Once you've met these requirements, simply fill out the form displayed on the screen. It consists of just 5 simple questions, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. I'm leaving you the BitUnix promo details and the Crypto Insight Premium Access form in the description and pinned comment of this video.
Now, let's analyze the crypto ecosystem and see what the charts are telling us. We'll follow the smart money to try to understand what they're planning and what their next move will be. First, of course, let's take a look at the spectacular shape Bitcoin is in. It's a global asset today, truly enviable. I repeat, enviable. Check out its price action. Not too long ago, we were stuck in a bear market where nobody gave Bitcoin a dime. Back then, this rally wasn't obvious, but from this point onward, just look how Bitcoin has revalued itself. And look, all we've seen in between have been phases of pause before continuing. One pause to catch our breath, a slightly trickier pause to shake out weak hands, another pause before the next leg up. This, my friends, is pure delicacy. Honestly, on the spot market, Bitcoin has handed us magnificent opportunities to go long. If you look back at previous Crypto Insight videos, go check our YouTube channel. You'll see how we were pinpointing long entries in Bitcoin. You can even find examples of us targeting long-term buys right here. The ecosystem, especially Bitcoin, has been providing continuous top-tier buying opportunities. That's why I say it's an enviable asset. You only need to think back to the low point, that climactic move we identified as the market floor. We even covered it in our YouTube videos. I'm not making any of this up. You can look up the videos by date and let me know what you think. But right there, we were assessing the market bottom. Since that floor, which was some time ago, Bitcoin has rallied 719%. Now, of course, nailing that kind of trade and holding it in spot isn't easy or obvious for everyone. But let's talk about the more recent entry points. 141%. Okay, you came in later, 62%. You got in during the last shakeout, 24%, and all in a very short time. This is Bitcoin. This is what it looks like. And this is what it's offering to the world of investing. Bitcoin has stormed into the room alongside the stock indices, commodities, especially gold, and other assets that major institutions view very favorably. Bitcoin kicked down the door to that meeting. As a matter of fact, institutional crypto adoption is an undeniable reality and all the long-term implications that come with it. Now, if you're new to Crypto Insight and hearing this for the first time, someone might say, well, that's easy to say when the price is already here. That's exactly why I've invited you to dig into the archives of our older Crypto Insight videos and see what we were saying at each of these levels. And let's not forget this one either. Remember when we talked about the bullish accumulation process, waiting for a breakout that would drive price higher? I'm telling you this now not because the price is high, but because throughout this entire rally, we've been showing bullish conviction for the medium and long term. And if you ask me, what do you think now? I'll tell you what I believe could happen with Bitcoin's price now that we're at all-time highs. But first,
welcome to Crypto Insight, your ethical and moral channel for cryptocurrency technical analysis. Here, we really know what we're talking about. We conduct advanced technical analysis that has been developed for over 12 years. We upload videos several times a week. If you're enjoying what you're seeing, let me know and leave a comment with your opinion. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and click on the bell so you don't miss the next opportunity.
Look, I won't keep you in suspense. I remain optimistic on Bitcoin and the broader crypto ecosystem. Now let's analyze different altcoins, and I'm going to show you that there's still room to the upside. Yes, even though we've just experienced a strong bullish impulse, there's still more upside potential. Let's start with Ethereum as our first example. In this video, we'll stay on the daily chart. I want us to analyze the long term together. You're looking at this structure known as a creek, a key level drawn and respected by major institutions. On July 9th, we got the Black Swan event, an extremely important occurrence. I'm talking about the bullish breakout we're seeing now, which can only project one thing for Ethereum over the medium to long-term continued upward movement. Now, let's turn to XRP, a brilliant asset whose way of breaking its structures is an absolute delight for bullish traders. Remember how we tracked the breakout of that advanced trend line and how it allowed us to be bullish? Then we worked this structure waiting for a bullish breakout, a black swan, and just look at how it's ripping through. I place great importance on the fact that X.R.P's breakout candle left us, yes, a big wick. At first glance, that might look like buying weakness, but seeing how the following candles are filling it in the way they're doing only makes me more positive on XRP for the medium and long term. To be honest, Solana is lagging behind, but that could be a sign that when the crypto markets really start to explode, Solana might be the standout asset to experience a huge move. At the same time, I feel Solana will be the go-to crypto proxy over the next few weeks, no doubt in my mind. Why? First, because we've broken a key structure and advanced trend line. It's been a struggle. To be fair, actually, I'm breaking my promise to stay on the daily chart, but you'll understand in a moment. See here the trend line breakout, then Solana retests it, and we're watching how the rest of the crypto ecosystem behaves. For me, the next stop is the major creek level around $181.30. And returning to the daily chart, what implication could this have? The implication is that our first target is to reach the creek level. How Solana behaves at that creek will dictate the pace of the broader crypto ecosystem's bullish progression. What do I mean? If after hitting the creek, the price fails to break it again and again, that would indicate the entire crypto market is entering a pause, a micro pullback before eventually resuming its climb. That's why watching Solana and its creek level is critical. How the price interacts there will give us spectacular insight to follow the rest of the ecosystem. And consider the alternative scenario. What if Solana decisively breaks above the creek? If we saw a strong, aggressive black swan breakout in Solana, yes, I've said that twice, what that would project is that the bull run across crypto has nothing left to do but continue. In Solana's case, the upside could be massive. That's what I was referring to earlier. Now, look at BNB on Binance's chart. We found ourselves in an equally brilliant setup there as well. I always say that BNB is an asset I really like, just like XRP and Solana. Now we'll talk about XLM because what XLM has done is truly unbelievable. It's absolute madness, and we'll analyze it in a moment. But first, Look at BNB. After its all-time high, it's been digesting gains here, consolidating the price. Now it seems to be setting up for a breakout, a black swan event, albeit a cautious one so far. But I have no doubt it could gain real traction. It's only a matter of time. So of course, we'll remain optimistic on BNB for the medium to long term. Why do I emphasize the medium to long term so much? Because what happens with the price in the next few hours or tomorrow or the day after, that price action isn't the focus of this video. Here, we're analyzing the medium to long term. What could occur in the immediate or short term is something we cover in our live Crypto Insight Premium sessions, as you saw in those flashbacks and reminders I shared at the start of the video. Here we go with Chainlink. Clearly, it's lagging behind, let's be honest. Still, I really like how it's broken an advanced trend line and is now racing toward its creek level. If I told you Solana would be a great proxy, I'll confess that Chainlink is going to be one too, giving us exactly the same signals. In Chainlink's case, the key level to watch is $17.42. And of course, we remain optimistic on Chainlink as well. Now let's talk about what XLM has done. It's off the charts. We wanted to see this breakout. We were waiting on this black swan event, but nobody could have imagined it would be so abrupt. Yet here we are, and it's unstoppable. If you look at X.L.M's price action, there's no sign of weakness. You can see exactly what fuels this asset. Absolutely incredible. Impulse and frenzy pullback, impulse, frenzy pullback, impulse, frenzy pullback, and now we're seeing the birth of a new impulse. Sure, we can already spot the potentials and obstacles, but I wouldn't obsess too much over them given the medium to long-term optimism we have across crypto. In XLM, we remain bullish, no question. That said, XLM has already delivered a lot, and that's something to keep in mind. Now, take a look at SUI. I'm keeping this chart up on purpose to show you in this video. Honestly, SUI's chart has been very tricky over the past few months. I've said it on multiple occasions. Despite how challenging it was, we've managed to understand what was happening from the wedge formation to the black swan event, through that huge breakout and why the price needed to pause, all the way down to where it could fall, right back to the origin of the breakout. We analyzed every step. Then we looked at the demand line that would project the next breakout of this structure. How'd that go? You're seeing it happen right here. All of this was possible thanks to the cross-asset analysis we've been working on. That's why I tell you SUI presented a complex chart, but at Crypto Insight, we've managed to decipher it. If you're happy with how we've broken it down, let me know in the comments. Now, what's important with SUI? Let's clear this up. I only kept it on screen to show you. See how SUI has broken an advanced trend line and is now targeting the creek level at $4.1352. That trend line breakout gives us room first to reach that creek, and of course, there's still more upside. At some point, we'll see if it can push through decisively, but for the medium and long term, we remain optimistic. And check out MicroStrategy, our great Ollie and the premier proxy for Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. We've been following this stock closely. Many of you will remember how we viewed that tricky dip on lower timeframes as a buying opportunity and how it sparked a powerful rally. That context had us extremely bullish. So keep an eye on both SUI and MicroStrategy. They're offering us key insights into where smart money is headed across the entire crypto space. And look how optimistic MicroStrategy was. In fact, in our last video, we analyzed how breaking above that blue rectangle you see was going to trigger an immediate bullish continuation. And there it is. Now, when you look at this MicroStrategy chart, honestly, we can still stay optimistic. That means MicroStrategy's medium to long-term outlook remains bullish, just like the medium to long-term outlook for this amazing asset called Bitcoin. So tell me, are you also feeling positive and bullish on the crypto ecosystem? Are you holding Bitcoin or other assets? Drop a comment and let me know which coins you're in and at what price levels, and share your thoughts on crypto's future. If you enjoyed this advanced technical analysis, give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell so YouTube notifies you of future uploads. Good luck with your investments and see you next time.